Anyone can be a star.
Gary Stovall.
Bert Jones, Charlie Alexander, Lynn Dorsey, and Matthew.
Make a few plays, win a few games, and the spotlight will come. But to be an icon, that's a different story altogether. Icons are timeless. Their star never fades. Their swagger transcends generations. Every icon is different. He's a story unto himself. He writes his own story. He creates his own future. And once you see him, he stays with you forever.
They call me bad, and I punish you. You ain't my equal, we ain't people, I ain't Tony Brown. Johnny, I grab my plate up off the lunch table. I told my mom,
might be a Heisman moment right there.
set it off, set it off. Don't make us set it off, set it off, set it off. Don't make us set it off.
You know, I've been told I wasn't good enough since recruiting.
If you're a hard worker, people are going to respect you, and that's all I try to bring to the table.
Welcome to the club, Joe.
Hello and welcome into Tigers Roar. I am Jonathan Poche, joined by the Bud Man, Buddy Sanji, here on a Wednesday evening at Scoreboards, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, one of Baton Rouge's newest places to watch your sports, get some great food. Come check it out at Scoreboards, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. The LSU Tigers, 13-0, are champions of the SEC for the first time since 2011 after a huge win, 37-10 in Georgia against the Bulldogs. A lot of LSU fans showed up to see Joe Burrow do his thing and take home that SEC title. I want to bring in my co-host, the Bud Man, Buddy Sanji.
JP, good to see you. Hope everybody doing well. Once again, another outstanding victory. Last two have been start to finish, a complete game. We're going to talk about the committee, the AP poll, all the things that played a role with LSU getting to be number one in the final CFP. Obviously, most people know this week is awards week. We've reiterated this over and over on radio. We tell you again on TV, not how much success you have, but how much you can handle. Joe Brady will give you a little bit of the newest winner of the Frank Broyles Award as the best assistant in the country. First time ever a defensive or offensive coordinator that was not in that position won it. Of course, he's a passing game coordinator. Coach O, today on the 11th of December, as we're broadcasting from Scoreboards, winning the Home Depot Coaches Award. Tomorrow night, a big show in Atlanta on ESPN. Red carpet, ESPNU at 6. The awards banquet and ceremony tomorrow at 7. A lot of winners. Jamar Chase expected to win the Biletnikoff, although CeeDee Lamb, very good from OU. Yeah. And Burrow, all those awards he's up for. Offensive line in the top 4, that's a big surprise. And, of course, as we know, Saturday night, Joe's going to get the Heisman. So it's been an incredible year for you Tiger fans. Enjoy it, because I'll never see a team this good on offense or a quarterback this good. You younger pups, you may see a guy surpass these records, but JP, incredible. Here we are 2 weeks from Christmas, and Santa has delivered an LSU offense that is going to surpass 50 touchdown passes, chunking it, and over 5,000 yards passing. Pinch me and wake me up. It's 2019.
We'll have a lot on the awards LSU is receiving. It's a truckload. It'll be a whole bunch. We'll get it to you here on Tigers Roar. But first, I want to show you some highlights from this past weekend. LSU took on Georgia in the SEC Championship. We'll go ahead and roll the highlights and talk over them. It started early. Joe Burrow got on top, but it could have been a different story in the beginning of the game if Georgia would have completed those first 3 passes.
He does just such a great job when he's forced out of the pocket. Great poise. He really looked faster on that surface. Now, we know that there were some problems with the footing and all that. This is one of those deals where he had about 8 seconds to throw and finds Chase in the back of the end zone.
Unbelievable the amount of time he had. He was pumped up after this. Definitely gave a shout out to his offensive line. Daisy Sadiq Charlton Marshall did an outstanding job all game keeping Joe Burrow up in the pocket. Terrence Marshall had a drop in this game that was kind of ugly, but made
Well,
up
he
for
caught
it
that
late.
one twice, so big one there. But yeah, did have the big drop later.
He did go. Joe Burrow went right back to Marshall after right here's a touchdown. Definitely came back after the early drop. Had a big game, scored 2 touchdowns. Joe Burrow was clicking early and often with his receivers.
LSU passing game, it's just incredible. And, you know, Kirby Smart was worried. Obviously, this is a big play here. Rashard Lawrence, you know, he's made a lot of plays in the backfield. He's healthy now. LSU defensive line doing much better. And Georgia just struggled because they couldn't play pitch and catch. Here's Grant Delpit on a great safety blitz. Disguised it well. You got to give Dave Aranda and the LSU defense credit for the way they played the last couple of games, JP.
Defense gave up 286 yards, only 10 points, and had 3 sacks. Yes, Georgia was missing a few guys on offense. Had a guy hurt at the receiver position. Also had a guy miss the first half for a scuffle against Georgia Tech. And when Pickens came in the game in the second half, he really looked pretty good.
All right, here's the Heisman play. Once again, there's been a bunch of them for Joe, but incredible scramble, perfect spiral to Justin Jefferson, who takes it another 25 yards. And watch this move here at the end, folks. He's going to act like, up, stop, go. And they get him at the 9-yard line, 70-plus yards, and really JJ taking a little breath of air after that. We'll see the replay. Incredible play by Joe Burrow and Justin Jefferson.
Outstanding job by Joe Burrow. The only kind of problem I have with this play is Terrence Marshall kind of jogging. You see it right there at the end. If he'd have sprinted out and got a block for Jets, maybe he would have scored. But hey, give or take, Joe Burrow comes in a tight window, finds Marshall again. That's an NFL throw right there. That window was tight.
And that was, once again, we got Marshall. I don't know if we've showed the drop or not, but that's a great little slant. We love these slants this year, and everybody's got to love it. Of course, here's Derek Stingley Jr. with his second interception of the game. 6 leads the SEC in interceptions, and he's a true freshman, JP.
AP, All-SEC newcomer of the year. Got the snub, in my opinion, on the coach's All-SEC team. Did make the second team, but look, the guy was the highest graded cornerback on PFF. You got to give him the credit he's due. They see Jets Jefferson catching his touchdown in the game. He was wide open. That was a nice little touch pass, but all set up by that freshman, Derek Stingley.
A little rub route, of course, kind of a pick play, and here we go. You see Thaddeus Moss clearing the way, Justin Jefferson. Can you believe it? He did not make a lot of these All-SEC teams. There you see Greg Sankey, and watch his face. After a while, the crowd starts booing him. He's going to have to pay for his beignets in New Orleans. Greg Sankey, not a real popular guy in this state.
Cade York, didn't see him in the highlights, but he did his thing. 3 for 4 with a long of 50 yards. He really played a key part of that SEC championship.
21 of 25 for the year, Cade York. He missed 4 PATs, but they have not been important ones. Has made his last 3 50-yarders, and the only LSU kicker ever to make 2 50-yarder in one game. Look, we love Cole Tracy, but this guy is here, and he's got 3 more years, and he's really good, JP.
We have a whole lot more here on Tigers Roar. Getting to our first break. When we come back, we'll talk about Coach O post-game, his comments with Joe Burrow and Derek Stingley. We'll also have later on in this show a segment with Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com. Get you up on recruiting. Big news from Major Burns today, decommitting from LSU. Opens back up his recruiting just a week before signing date. We'll have that and a whole lot more here on Scoreboards after this break. Don't forget, we're at Scoreboards, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Come check us out. It's a great place to watch these games coming up. And don't forget Peach Bowl, December 28th, 3 o'clock. LSU takes on Oklahoma. Don't miss it. Be here at Scoreboards for it. Great food, great atmosphere, cold drinks. You don't want to miss it. Come back and join us right here on Tigers Roar after this break.
Remember what these trips were like before you put the screens in the back seats?
I don't want to think about it.
Are we there yet? I'm hungry. Where are we?
Go, go, go. That game should keep them occupied.
Oh, yeah!
Dad!
Oh, in your face!
Don't make me get back there.
You don't need a new car to have new technology. Mike's Audio, conveniently located on Airline Highway near the corner of Bluebonnet.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi folks, Clarence Buggs here. Coach Roger Cador would take the time to tell you how to catch our brand new show, The Roger Cador Show, but as you can see, he's kind of busy right now out at Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill with food that is absolutely amazing. Catch the show 8 o'clock Tuesday nights, 6:30 p.m. on Wednesdays, and on Pelican Television's YouTube channel as well. You want to come out and have a great time. It's awesome, isn't it, Coach? Mm-hmm. Told you.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to Tigers Roar. LSU takes the championship in the SEC by defeating the Georgia Bulldogs 37-10. Coach Oates said it was a complete game. He admired the way his defense played. They had the 3 sacks, only gave up 10 points. Look, they stepped up the last 2 weeks. 7 to A&M, 10 to Georgia. They have more points than that to Vanderbilt. So you got to be impressed by the way LSU stepped it up late, really turned that defense around. Perhaps hearing that, a couple weeks ago, Ohio State slipped to that #1 spot over LSU, and the talking heads out there were kind of saying, well, Ohio State's a more complete team. Possibly that's exactly what this defense and Dave Aranda needed to hear in order to really kick it into gear.
Well, no doubt about it, JP. It was motivation because people were criticizing when you give up 400 yards rushing to Ole Miss, you give up 20-something points, 14 of them late to Arkansas. I gave up 38 to Vandy. Gave up too many points this year, gave up those long plays to Bama. Bottom line is this, folks. Dave Aranda and the defense, they got healthy, and they started doing the things that we expected to see all year. Jumping around at the line of scrimmage, blitzing, playing off, doing the whole thing, showing zone and playing man, showing man and playing zone. 6 sacks against A&M, 3 sacks against Georgia, but +3 against A&M, and in the turnover ratio, once again, +2 this last weekend. Those are the things your defense needs to do. Now they play Oklahoma. Real quick, AP poll came out, final AP poll. LSU beat 4 teams in the top 10 in the final AP.
Right.
Ohio State beat 0.
Right.
0 in the final top 10 in the AP. CFP obviously had some crazy going-ons with some of their rankings, but they got it right.
Yeah.
And Rob Mullins, the chair from Oregon, said the fact that LSU defense got healthy and played the way they did. But, man, how about the way Coach O handled it and Joe Burrow handled it versus Ryan Day and Chase Young? Take all of that nonsense back up to Columbus. I like the way O and Burrow handled success. Much better than the Ohio State people.
Right. LSU coach said he'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime. Joe Burrow said we'll take him to Canada and play in a gravel lot. Didn't matter. You saw Dabo Swinney whining about the CFP, trying to get them out of the pool. We've heard enough of that. Joe Burrow was the MVP of the SEC game, 28 for 38, 349 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Did a great job. He was also with the media after the game. So was Coach O and the freshman, Derek Stingley, with those 2 interceptions. Here are some post-game comments from the trio this weekend in Atlanta, Georgia.
So proud of our football team. These guys are committed to excellence. Great leadership. 2 men on the side of them are excellent players. Great team players. This is a great team win. I'm so proud of our defense tonight. The way they came to play, I thought that overall this is our best effort of the season. But I wasn't surprised. Preparation, our guys have been phenomenal. We came here Thursday night. They had a look in their eye today that focus and a winning and determination. And they won as a football team. This is a win for our whole organization, for the state of Louisiana, and for LSU, and for everybody that played in the purple and gold. But tonight wasn't our final destination. We know that. We don't know where we're going to go. We don't know who we're going to play. Wherever they tell us to go and whoever they tell us to play, we'll be ready to go.
All right, thank you, Coach. We'll take questions. Reminder, there's no video in this room, so if you could help us out with that. If you have a question, Mariana Kelly will get you a microphone. We'll start up here on the front row with Ron.
Ed, do you think your team's performance tonight clinched the #1 seed with the committee?
Yeah, I don't know that. I think that we're a darn good football team. We don't know, and I told the team it doesn't matter. It don't matter where they rank us, where they tell us to go. We got to win the next game, and that's all that matters.
Okay, we'll go down here to the right. Scott.
Scott Rappelli with the Baton Rouge Advocate. Derek, your first interception, the game was still in balance at that time, and they're threatening. Just talk about that play and how you guys were able to play overall on defense tonight.
Our play on defense, it was amazing. I mean, but this is what we've been working for since the summer. We knew that if everybody worked together, then nobody could really compete with us.
Okay, we're going to go over here to the left on the aisle.
Jay Busby, Yahoo Sports. Joe, on that 71-yard pass to Justin, how much of that was planned? How much was improvised? Take us through that play.
It was all improvised. Justin ran a 6-yard hitch route and saw me scrambling and just took off deep. And, we got a great feel for each other. I knew exactly where he was going to be when I got out of there.
Okay, we'll go right here in the front row.
James Moran with the American Press. Jody, just the scrambles in general tonight, was that a big part of the game plan going in? And on that first touchdown, did it seem like you had never had so long to throw in your time playing quarterback?
Yeah, so they came out in a defense with kind of what Auburn played against us a little bit, and we didn't expect that out of Georgia at all. And so we kind of had to feel our way out a little bit. And, they're spying me rushing 3, and so my own line did a great job of giving me time in that 3-man rush, and our receivers found ways to get open.
Okay, we'll go back over here to the right. We have a question?
Coach, us in the media are always looking for Heisman moments. I think, 3rd and 17 at Texas is one for Burrow, but that toss to Jefferson, where does that kind of rank in your mind?
In my opinion, he's the best player in the country. In my opinion, he should win it. In my opinion, he's going to win it. But the best thing about Joe, he's a team player. And all he wants to do is win this game. Individual awards are not high on his list. That's what makes him such a great team player.
Okay, again, give your name and affiliation with the question. We'll go back over here to the right.
Shea Dixon with 24/7 Sports. Derek, what did the defense's performance against A&M and then this game kind of say about you guys as a unit?
This game kind of proved the point because a lot of people, they didn't really respect us, but we came out and played and showed everybody what we was made of.
All right, we've got one right over here on the side.
Joel, just as kind of a follow-up to that, I'm Gary McKillop, AP Radio. What does this game mean to you? I mean, you've had a lot of victories before, but how important was this one?
This is a big one. LSU hadn't won since 2011, and it's such a great victory for the state and the university. And this is what we've been working for a long time.
Okay, we'll go over here on the left, second row.
Wilson Alexander with The Advocate. Ed, you come off the field and give Derek a hug. What did you want to convey to him in that moment?
So proud of him, man. I see Derek work. You go in the off season and you can go in the indoor arena on Saturday and Sunday, and him and his daddy are working every Saturday and Sunday. The guy's a tireless worker. Derek's a very humble young man. He came ready to go when we had him. His daddy did a good job of coaching him. He's one of the finest corners I've ever been around, and he's a competitor. And but again, I'll tell you, these two guys are team players. Team comes first with them.
In case anybody forgets, Derek's a true freshman. In case anybody forgets that. I forget it a lot.
All right, we'll go back down the front.
Derek, I guess I kind of have to ask you, since we've never talked to you, how has this year kind of played out from your standpoint? I mean, is this what you expected, to just kind of come in and be viewed as one of the best cornerbacks in the country as a freshman?
Well, for one, the only reason that I'm in this position is because of everybody else on the defense. We all work together. We make sure everybody's on the same page, and as long as that happens, then everybody looks good together. So I knew that was going to happen, and I'm just blessed to be in this spot.
Okay, we'll go back over here to the left. Duran?
Joe, Ron Higgins, Tiger Rag. How much fun is it for you in a game like that where things don't go perfect and you have to make plays and things break down and all of a sudden you turn into like a 10-year-old game on the playground making plays? How much fun was that for you?
Yeah, they did a great job of disguising their blitzes. They had a new package for us this week that I hadn't seen on film. And so that was why I was having to make those scrambles. And I told the O-line before the game, I said, this one's going to be a lot of fun. I can just feel it. And that's exactly what it was.
Okay, we'll go down back there to Scott.
Derek, you came in with a lot of hype as the nation's top cornerback. What was it like learning to play against these kind of quarterbacks in the SEC and then going against a quarterback like Joe in practice? I imagine, how did that make you better?
Joe taught me a lot about having to go play by play, because in high school I was able to always make the play, but when I came and he was pinpoint accuracy, like there was just times where I was on the receiver, but I just couldn't do anything about it, and that just taught me a lot about the games, because it's gonna happen. And once I got over that, like play-by-play mentality, then I knew that I'd be all right.
Okay, we'll go over here on the front row on the left.
Josh Sibley with the Louisiana Gridiron Football. Joe, one of your friends, former Ohio State quarterback Troy Smith, said in a recent interview, he said you were really chomping at the bit to play Ohio State this year. Would you care to speak on that?
Look, we'll play anybody anywhere. I said in the post game, you can take us to Canada. We'll play on a gravel lot. It doesn't matter where or who we play.
All right, we'll go to the second row over here on our right. We've got a couple. Go ahead.
Hey, Joe. Andrew Doak with CBS in New Orleans. This offensive line was much maligned last year. That first drive that you guys had, it seemed like you had about 10 seconds to throw on that touchdown to Jamar Chase. First guy I saw you point to was left tackle Sadiq Charles. Could you just speak to this group and how you felt like they performed today against Georgia?
I mean, they were unreal. They've been unreal all year, and they're one of the most improved groups I've ever been around. And they took that criticism to heart from last year. And like I said, they were three-man rushing us in the first half, and I told them, hey, I'm gonna have to sit back there and find some open guys, because we're gonna have 8 people in coverage, and they gave me as much time as I wanted back there. I think they're the best group in the country.
Okay, we're gonna stay in that same row next door.
Shea Dixon of 24/7 Sports. Joe, what is it? I guess how big is it for the offense for Terrace to have a game like he had today? And then what do you tell him as a quarterback after a drop like he had, and then you came back to him a few times later?
Yeah, I told him after that drop. I told him, look, I'm coming back to you. They're playing Jamar and Justin, and I'm gonna have to come to you. And I trust him. He's gonna make the plays. I think that's his only drop all year. So, I trust that guy with every ball, every 50-50 ball, and that's what makes this offense so great. We have 5 guys that can hurt you, and you're gonna have to pick your poison. If you want to take away Jamar and Justin, you're going to have to deal with Thad, Clyde, and Terrace.
post-game comments from this past weekend. LSU wins 37-10 against the Georgia Bulldogs, taking home the SEC championship, led by that dominant offense. There will be no shortage of storylines come to Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. The #1 offense in the league against the #2 offense in the league, led by #9 Joe Burrow.
LSU 5-1 in the SEC championship games. 3 of those victories over Georgia, 2 against Tennessee. Look, Burrow had those stats that you just spit out. But Marshall, right before halftime, I guess about 5-6 minutes before half, dropped about a 60-70 yarder wide open. So that would have been another touchdown and another 60-70 yards. It's just been fantastic to watch. JP talking to people around the country, I think everybody will admit that it's going to be tough for any team this year to shut down LSU. And Burrow told us that in the summer. He said, I don't think people at LSU are used to scoring 40, 50, or 60, but they still can't clean up a couple things. Obviously, Georgia had a lot of drops on their side of the ball, but you got to be happy. You know, once again, they gave the players off this week. They deserve it. Everybody, Joe Burrow included, is going to have to build his own room for all of his trophies. Yeah. But I think a guy like that, can you imagine, JP, now you and I know how much we use these phones. Can you imagine that we're doing this show tonight and neither one of us have our phones because it's broke? We would be out of it. We would be going like, I can't do this, and Burrow has his phone break, and his mom and daddy can't even get in touch with him. He says, look, I'll get a phone when we get back into next week. I got a ball game to prepare for. So that's the kind of leader, that's the kind of focus. And I liked what the guys said about winning the SEC. There's still unfinished business. And as we've said all time, a lot of times this week, LSU with 3 teams in the Final Four, and all 3 of those teams are the opponents that LSU beat for national championships. Right. Clemson in 1958. Right. Of course, Oklahoma in 03, and Ohio State in 07. And so it also nicely fits when LSU wins the SEC championship, the national championship in New Orleans. Right. And so all the dots are connecting. You still got to handle success. You get a chance to get some of these guys back healthy. But I'm telling you, I don't see how Oklahoma holds them under 47, 48 points. Do you? No, there's no way. I mean, the offense is too explosive. The wide receivers, the tight end, the running back, they all fit together so well. And the way Joe processes in the pocket, it's so quick, so precise, and then the accuracy is unmeasurable, or unmatched, I should say. He's been so special to the program, a transplant kid that now thanks the region for allowing him to be a native of Louisiana. You know, he feels right at home. His parents love it down here. They've expressed a lot of gratitude of how the whole environment has really embraced Joe. And I want to let you guys see the highlights from Joe Burrow since last year when he came in as a transfer, and he really exploded on the scene, and this year he's just dominating. Front runner for the Heisman. If he doesn't win the Heisman, they should stop giving it out. No, he's going to win it. He's going to win it maybe by a record margin. He's that good. And we all know, of course, Hurts and Fields and Chase Young will be the other 3 guys there. But really, they're just there to see him accepted Saturday night. Here are some highlights for LSU and Joe Burrow and his career with LSU right here on Tigers Roar.
How much does Joe Burrow love football?
Football is Joe Burrow. Football wasn't in my life. I don't really know what I would be doing.
Burrow has them up quickly, has a man caught at the pylon. They are sharp tonight, particularly the new quarterback, Joe Burrow.
He's going to have to chuck it downfield. He will. End zone, is it caught? Touchdown! For the throw, taking a shot, and it's caught for the touchdown! Burrow still running with the football. The Tigers' leading rusher will get him for the touchdown. He's going to lob one deep. He's got a man open. Justin Jefferson, touchdown, LSU.
Pocket holds up. Deep throw into single coverage. Touchdown, LSU. One-on-one, end zone. Caught. Jefferson. Burrow. End zone. Caught. D. Anderson. Burrow. Running all night into the end zone. Touchdown.
Burrow to throw. Now they'll take a shot. Lofts one for Jefferson. He's got it. Touchdown. player of the game from LSU, Joe Burrow.
You've got another year. What's next for the Tigers?
It's going to be special. We're going to work our tails off in the offseason, get healthy, and we're coming next year.
Football is life. Football is Joe Burrow.
Oh man, we get money all day. All I do is work, all I do is get paid, yeah. Oh man, we get money all day. All I do is
Joe Burrow, 23 of 27, 278 yards and 5 touchdowns.
all I do is work, all I do is get paid, yeah.
But let's not be, let's not get it twisted. Next week is the big one.
Burrow fires, and it's caught by Justin Jefferson for the touchdown. Burrow right back at it, into the end zone, and Jefferson is there. Joe Burrow into the end zone, touchdown LSU, Terrace Marshall. Over the middle, complete to Jefferson, on his way, and that might be the knockout punch.
Burrow aiming in zone, a 14-yard strike. Burrow trying to thread the needle. Burrow keeps it, dives into the end zone. This is going to be a big one. LSU looks unstoppable. Joe Burrow has just set an LSU school record with his 6th passing touchdown of this game.
Oh man, we get money all day. All I do is work, all I do is get paid, yeah. Oh man, we get money all day. All I do is work, all I do is get paid, yeah. All I do is work, all I do is work. All I do is work, all I do is get paid, yeah. All I do is work, all I do is work. All I do is work, all I do is let me work. Yeah, all I do is work, all I do is work.
Burrow bluffs it deep for a touchdown.
And that is the difference in LSU. You better be taking notes and watching Joe Burrow. Dude, this is 2019 LSU. Forget that. We're here to win. We're here to play for championships.
Burrow zips it across the middle. Caught! Touchdown! Burrow, pump fakes, rolling out, fires a dart, caught. Jefferson was right in the pylon, and he did get in. Burrow, and we'll take a downfield shot, and he'll score!
Confident, mature. Joey wants to be great.
Joe Burrow is the best player in college football.
Really one of the greatest in the history of college football.
Not only front runner for the Heisman, maybe the first quarterback picked in the NFL draft.
It's been unbelievable. Team, the state, the university has been incredible.
Wow, Bud, man, that was just so satisfying to watch all those touchdowns. He's really pouring it on, set the SEC mark this season. 48 so far. It's going to continue to grow, so that's possibly 2 games to go.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Folks, it's just been incredible. And I want to bring in one other point. I'm watching some of those highlights. I remember that kid from Ole Miss hit him late in the end zone. You remember the cheap shot in the bowl game from UCF. You remember the guy at Texas A&M with the horse collar. I mean, the more you hit him, the more you cheap shot him, the more he gets up and says, hey, I can take it. And the team loves him. Coach O, after the game, talking about his team. These stats, though, JP, here's another one that we throw out here. I don't think any of you Tiger fans are going to ever see this again. 3 LSU receivers with double-digit touchdown receptions. 18 for Chase. It'll be over 20, sometimes about 6 o'clock on December 28th.
Right.
14 for Justin Jefferson, and with Marshall getting 2 last weekend, he's now got 10. How about that? 3. Now, maybe they'll do this down the road, but I just don't see it, JP, to have double-digit touchdown receptions from 3 wide receivers.
Right.
That's why I gave him the nickname, the Brady Bunch. And oh, by the way, if you know Joe Brady, get dinner and a drink on him because he's getting ready to make a ton of money. Show me the money. Joe Brady's going to get a bunch of money with LSU because he's that good. Oh, by the way, Dave Aranda, all of that BS on the internet, not going to UNLV, not going to Colorado State. He's here right now recruiting. And oh, by the way, a week from tonight, people celebrating another fantastic recruiting class. It's a great time to be a Tiger fan right now.
Speaking of recruiting class, we will have Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com join us via the telephone right here on Tigers Roar. But first, take a quick break. Come back and join us. He's the Budman, Buddy Sanji. I'm Jonathan Poche. We're here at Scoreboards, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Come check us out. Come check us out right back here on Tigers Roar at this break.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, Hardy Planker siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's an honor to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Remember the smell of vinyl? What happened to all your old records? Lost in a move? Thrown out by the ex? Get them back. Classic Vinyl's Record Store and Collectibles, 13847 Coursey, where you can find all old vinyl, all genres of music, rock, country, blues, and R&B. Classic Vinyls and Collectibles behind Mary Lee Donuts and Coursey. If they don't have it, they'll get it. Look for them on Facebook. Classic Vinyls, sponsors of Classic Thursdays at Scoreboards on
And all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. None of you's even a vowel. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident,
The E-Guarantee.
and as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-654-9927, 800-654-9927.
Tigers Roar. It is that time that we get to talk to Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com. He's been a busy man. Signing deadline is next week, Wednesday, the 18th. I want to bring him in right now. Mike, good evening. How are you?
Hey, good to be with you.
Mike, thanks for spending some time with us here on Tigers Roar. It was an exciting weekend. LSU takes care of business, takes home the SEC championship for the first time since 2011. Got to get a weight off your shoulders, beating Bama first, take care of business against A&M, then going to Atlanta, beating Georgia convincingly. Joe Burrow's got to be the front runner for the Heisman. Everything seems to be working right now for the Tigers.
Yeah, it's been a fun season, magical. You know, you're talking about Joe Burrow, and I'm looking at pictures that they put out today of him winning the Golden Arm Award, the Johnny Unitas Award earlier in the week, and then Saturday night we expect he's a runaway for the Heisman, and you know, if he goes down with the numbers and everything that he's done as the greatest quarterback in SEC history, you know, what are we talking about with him 10, 20, 30 years from now, where he rates all time as far as SEC most valuable players? I mean, is he right there with Herschel Walker in the discussion decades from now?
Well, the interesting thing, Mike, is that, of course, LSU's got a game against Oklahoma. Their defense is very porous. So not being arrogant, but being objective, you got to figure he's going to throw for at least 4 touchdowns, maybe 5. So that would put him at 52. 47-15 on the yardage. You got to give him another 400. That's 5,100. We're looking at a guy that could have 5,500 yards and 55 touchdowns. Mike, we're not going to ever see that. Well, not in my lifetime, but that's just video game numbers. And whoever has to follow Joe next year, I feel sorry if it's Miles Brennan or whoever, because it's like any icon and legend. It's going to be tough to be measured up to the standards that Joe's setting this year, Mike.
No doubt. And look, you know, the schedule flips next year, and you know, you got to go to Auburn, to Florida, to Texas A&M. Alabama comes here. You know, we don't know what how the fire's been put out on that Texas dumpster fire. You get them early in the season. So we'll see. It's you know, Joe Brady's going to get a new contract with a lot of money, and you can already figure out what kind of calls you're getting on the call and show if the numbers are not what they were this year. But people need to take it and realize, yeah, there's the Joe Brady factor, but Joe Burrow is a once-in-a-lifetime quarterback.
Hey, Mike, yesterday afternoon into the evening, of course, we're all following a story about Dave Aranda. I had to give 17 people Dr. Phil's phone number last night because they thought Dave Aranda was going to play the slots at UNLV or Carlos State. Is that stuff that comes out that's legit, or do you think it's there to hurt LSU 1 week from recruiting?
Well, you know, last week I did a big war room, and I'm due to do another one, and I started it off saying it's the silly season, and that's what you get. You've got all the recruiting stuff that's going on between now and next Wednesday, all the coaches' rumors, and now that Lane Kiffin and et cetera are hired, who are they going to hire for assistant coaches? You know, so Bruce Feldman comes out last night and says that it's just about a done deal. Dellinger was right behind him. And then, you know, I guess about 10:30 last night, ESPN says no, it's not happening. And, you know, of course, I immediately sent a text alert to our subscribers, and you know, they were happy I was actually texting them that late at night. But, yeah, it's, you know, it just didn't make sense. First of all, we had been wondering for a while if Aranda even had aspirations for being a head coach. We get wind that all of a sudden Colorado State and UNLV and maybe one or two others, but I just think a guy that's making $2.5 million as a coordinator at LSU with the number 1 ranked team in the country, and his resume and how well he's thought of for the job he does, he ought to be up for better jobs than UNLV in Colorado State. So maybe he needs a new agent.
Who needs a booty text message call at 10:30 when you can get one from Tiger Bait?
That's right.
Mike, I saw you tweeted out the Kiper story about he thinks quarterback Joe Burrow is going to be the #1 overall pick. I think it's a pretty safe bet with what he's done this year. Definitely the first quarterback tape. But do you think he's going to be taken #1 overall?
Yeah, I kind of laughed and made a joke like, now we just wait for Bill Tobin to reply and see if he agrees with Kiper. But what Burrow has done and how quarterback's such a premium position, and Burrow just doesn't look like a flash in the pan or a fly by night by any stretch, and the defenses that he's done it against. From Ohio, Cincinnati with the first pick. I mean, it just all makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, one of the things that LSU and Coach O and the whole staff has had to deal with this year is something they haven't had a problem with, but because of the success and because they're so hot and because LSU now is the hot school to go to, they've had to take some kids and call them up and explain to them, look, that scholarship I had for you 2-3 months ago is not so simple. Talk a little bit about that being pretty much what happens with all the big-time schools, and if you think they've done a good job of that, because it can alienate some kids and it can alienate some high school coaches. But talk about juggling when you got a kid recruited, he's committed to you for maybe even 6 months to a year, and now all of a sudden you don't have a spot for him. It's a good problem to have, but you got to do it in a classy way. Agreed?
Yeah, it's really tough, and I don't know how there's just no good way to do it, and it's unfortunate. A Major Burns situation, signing days next Wednesday, and he's a midterm grad, so LSU's wanting to sign more defensive front seven prospects, and whether that's not just Philip Webb, but maybe Jordan Burch, or I think Demouy Kennedy from Theodore, Alabama, probably sticks with Alabama, but Orgeron was there first thing Monday. And then you've got McKinley Jackson out there, Zach Evans, Doomerville, so that's what's going on here. LSU signed, a handful of cornerbacks last year. You still have Elias Ricks on the board, and they're just really wanting to go hard and have more numbers as far as edge rushers, defensive linemen, and linebackers.
Mike, in the beginning of his recruitment, Major Burns is the guy that was really vocal on social media about bringing other guys to LSU with his departure. Do you think LSU is still in the game, or is he going to go somewhere else definitely?
No, I think he's going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, he was verbally committed to Texas A&M, and a lot of those guys all know each other. Joe Williams, obviously, they know Jaquelin Roy. And Mike, we asked this question on radio, but for those on TV, need to hear it from you about, and there probably are still a few more decommitments and a little bit more tweaking since we're a week away, but they continue to seem like they're soliciting interest, and you've gone on record as saying that you think this is going to be the #1 class in the country when it's all said and done, and maybe the best class ever that LSU has brought in. That's pretty strong words, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic class. I mean, it's everything that they've done. They put in the hard work. I mean, look, what did you see Sunday? All the coaches that Ed Orgeron competes against, they're all, live on TV, in front of a camera. Ed Orgeron has to do his spot via phone because he's out recruiting already. No head coach is outworking Ed Orgeron right now on the recruiting trail. You combine that with a lot of strong assistant coaches out on the recruiting trail, all the grad analysts that help in recruiting, the recruiting staff. I mean, it's just been a home run this entire season with everything they do. And, look, I think there's still a couple of more dominoes that can fall. For the last 6 weeks or so, I kind of wondered, would there be anything left beyond December 18th? Would there be a spot or two open? And now I'm starting to think, yeah, there's going to be a couple of spots open. And that McKinley Jackson coming in early January, he's got an Ole Miss visit, sandwiched between LSU and A&M. You'll still have Cameron Jackson out there who won't sign until February. Of course, he's got to get an academic, get Tyke Ace Crawford in a similar situation who they're after. And then we'll see what happens with Birch. I have Webb, Evans. I think are LSU. A&M's really making it a dogfight for Zach Evans, but I still think he ends up at LSU. But that kid's been wacky to say the least for months. So throughout the entire process, trying to get anybody nailed down in his inner circle or in his midst is next to impossible.
Hey, you've also intimated that Malcolm Green is going to decommit and flip over to Clemson. With him not coming and also Major Burns, Mike, do they look for another DB, or do you think that with the four corners that they had last year, obviously led by Stingley, Flott, Jay Ward, and Rodarius Jones, do you think they take another corner, or are they done with DBs?
I think they're done. And you get Todd Harris back, off the injury, and he'll be 100%. You and I keep talking about it. When does Devonta Lee move over to defense? He's got to get there soon. But is he a safety, or is he getting so big that he ends up being an outside linebacker? I think he can be a heck of a defensive player. So maybe for both practices that they move him over there, but or maybe for whatever reason he's not moving. I don't know. To me, if he's going to see the field, particularly with what receivers will be returning and the unbelievable four that are going to be signing with LSU, he needs to move to the defensive side of the ball.
Mike, there's really no hotter brand right now than LSU. Coach O living his best life, had an assistant just win the Broyles Award. Really, he talked about how hard he works in recruiting. He loves doing it, doesn't he? He loves the in-home visits. He loves meeting the families and really spreading that LSU love to all these young kids. No, and he's good at it, and he's tireless, and I don't know if he's back on the Red Bulls or what energy drinks he's consuming, but whatever it is, it's working.
All right, Mike, let's give everybody a rundown of exactly what you're going to be doing a week from today. That is the early signing period, December 18th. You LSU fans will get an early Christmas present. Mike, give us 3 or 4 or 5 names that you think will sign on the dotted line that you think have a chance to come in and be factors. And I go back to Eric Gilbert. Everybody thought it was a battle between Georgia and Alabama. The irony of that, guys, LSU ends up beating both Georgia and Alabama this year. And Gilbert was on the cutting edge saying it's LSU. Who else? And tell us a little bit about what you'll be doing on signing day, Mike.
Yeah, I just think all the defensive linemen, any of the edge rushers, Gilbert, I want to see what Ojulari looks like, but Jaquelin Roy, Jacoby Guillory, like some of the film I've seen of Eric Taylor. Real curious to see Ali Gay once he arrives. Look, I think the quarterbacks are going to be there at midterm, but that's going to be a fun battle to watch. Obviously, if Zach Evans is the guy. But look, what were we saying this time last year that, a freshman was going to come in and go over Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So we're going to wait to see what Clyde does. But, you'll have Emory and Tyrion Davis-Price back. And, of course, for recruiting next week, we're going to be loading up war rooms, covering all the visits that happen between now and then. All day on signing day. We've got our all-day chat that we do every Wednesday. I'll probably do an all-day chat on Tuesday instead. And there's still some interesting moves left to happen. So it's going to be crazy between now and National Signing Day.
All right, Mike, I know you have a lot to do before next Wednesday. Before we let you go, tell everybody about TigerBait.com, about the gift cards they can receive this Christmas and what's going on the website.
Yeah, go to TigerBait.com. Everybody's been asking us for years, do you have gift cards so they can give a subscription to TigerBait? We've got those on the front page. Give yourself a subscription to TigerBait. We want to have you if you're an LSU fan. We've had an unbelievable last month of new subscribers. We've the site is absolutely growing and overflowing with content. We did more page views in the last 4 days than we did all last October. It's insane the records we're breaking.
Hey, good job, my man, and keep up the great work. And, hey, final one for me here. what kind of impact do you think Burrow winning the Heisman will have? And tell me right now, is it going to be Nussmeier or is it going to be Caleb Williams for the 2021 quarterback? Who are you picking right now, Mike?
Man, I'm going with Caleb Williams right now. But Garrett Nussmeier told me earlier in the week that he's going to be taking some visits early in the year, and he wants to have a decision made around Easter. So, and I think Caleb Williams does something early in the year also. That visit for Caleb Williams during the Thanksgiving break at Baton Rouge was huge. I really like where LSU sits with Caleb right now.
Thank you, buddy.
All right,
we'll
Mike,
talk
thank
with
you.
you next week. And as always, it'll be a big show next week with you coming on as LSU. Probably, what do you think, Mike, 22, 23 next week?
I think that might be about right.
Yeah. All right, man. Go to TigerBait.com. Thanks, as always. Great segment tonight, both radio and TV.
All right, guys. Talk next Wednesday.
All right, Mike, thank you.
Can you imagine having so much fun that Orgeron was recruiting on Sunday, and they didn't even have a team get-together to see where they were seated.
Right.
And, of course, Ohio State, once again, just like the state of Alabama, it goes to tell you about Louisiana companies. Ohio had a record-breaking month with Boudreaux's butt pace. With all the butt hurt in Ohio, it broke records in Alabama. But if you have stock in Boudreaux's butt pace, you're doing great things in Ohio and Alabama right now.
We'll have a lot more here on Tigers Roar, including the Peach Bowl. Looking forward to LSU taking on the Oklahoma Sooners on December 28th, 3 o'clock ESPN. We'll talk about that. We'll have a Selection Sunday, little image from inside of the dome when they got selected. The CEO and president of the Chick-fil-A Bowl, Mr. Gary Stoker. We'll hear from him here on Tigers Roar. We'll have a lot more. Get to the awards that LSU has received thus far. A whole lot more here on Tigers Roar. Come back and join us right after this break. He's Buddy Sanji. I'm Jonathan Poche, and you're watching Tigers Roar.
Taste the feeling.
Hi folks, Clarence Buggs here. Coach Roger Cador would take the time to tell you how to catch our brand new show, The Roger Cador Show, but as you can see, he's kind of busy right now out at Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill with food that is absolutely amazing. Catch the show 8 o'clock Tuesday nights, 6:30 p.m. on Wednesdays and on Pelican Television's YouTube channel as well. You want to come out and have a great time. It's awesome, isn't it, Coach? Mm-hmm. Told you.
Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
December 28th, number 1 versus number 4, LSU will take on the Sooners from Oklahoma in Atlanta, Georgia, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. It's going to be a great matchup between the number 1 offense in the league and the number 2 offense in the league. LSU has scored a few less points than Oklahoma, but look, that defense from the Sooners, so portion called Swiss cheese. Joe Burrow will carve them up.
Yeah, Oklahoma fans are going to come in very arrogant and very entitled. We met quite a few in New Orleans in 2004. Of course, LSU now playing Oklahoma in a semi. Only thing that kind of perplexed me a little bit, JP, with the SEC championship game, what was the deal with all the slipping and the rubber and all the stuff? I haven't seen the problems with that. I think LSU had to make some equipment change at halftime, but hope that they get that out of the way. But Joe Burrow wasn't slipping around. Very decisive running. Hey, we've seen Jalen Hurts before, and Patrick Queen and the rest of the guys, wrap him up. Wrap him up. And don't do all of this busting up and he goes for another 20 yards. But you got to admit the defense has done much better. But you got to wrap this kid up because he is a strong runner. Probably can hurt you more with his feet than his arm. But CeeDee Lamb, really good wide receiver. I think he finishes second tomorrow night to Chase with the Biletnikoff, but he's really good. And, of course, we know, as you alluded to, their defense is going to give up a ton of points. So I'm thinking both teams are going to be scoring a bunch. This is going to be a lot of fun. And, oh, by the way, if you're going and you're going to be a Tiger fan, you'll have a lot more friends in the stadium this time than you did with the SEC championship game where it was 75-25 Georgia to LSU.
Ohio State coach Ryan Day thought they should be number 1 playing in the Peach Bowl. Coach Orgeron, Joe Burrow, they didn't care who they were going to play and say, line them up, we'll play whoever. There were some people very excited that the LSU faithful will be going back to Georgia, and that was the Peach Bowl itself. I want to give you a video of Selection Sunday when the whole group found out, including CEO and president of the Chick-fil-A Bowl, Mr. Gary Stoker, that LSU will be in the Peach Bowl. Here is the video from Selection Sunday.
And Maria Taylor.
Well, you're right, Gino. There's certainly with the Buckeyes, Tom.
Absolutely.
Because they've been a defense. Chance to win national
right, Gary, it is official. On December 28th here in Atlanta, we will have number 4 Oklahoma and number 1 Louisiana State. First off, your impressions of this matchup, which could be maybe the best in Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl history.
Well, think about this. The number 1 offense and number 2 offense in college football are going to be in Atlanta in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. And 2 quarterbacks who are going to be in New York for the Heisman Trophy to possibly win it. You couldn't ask for a better matchup.
Your first impressions of LSU, I know you got to see them in the SEC championship game. Tell me about them and their fans coming back to yet another Peach Bowl.
Well, LSU loves Atlanta. They've supported us so well in the past. They'll do the same this year. And to be number 1, it's the second time Atlanta and the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl has hosted the semifinal, and both times we've had the number 1 team in the country.
And number 4, Oklahoma has been there, done that, been in the playoffs the last few years. What are they going to bring first trip to Atlanta in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl?
Well, how about this script? Jalen Hurts at Alabama wins the SEC championship, and he comes back to Atlanta to play for a semifinal with Oklahoma. You couldn't write that script any better.
And just talk about the city of Atlanta and what this 1 versus 4 national semifinal means for what is the capital of college football.
Well, we're the capital of college football because yesterday we hosted number 2 against number 4, and December 28th in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, number 1 against number 4. So there's no other city that can say that. Well, we're happy to have LSU, number 1 in the country. They love coming to Atlanta, as we saw last night in the SEC championship, and to be the number 2 offense in the country, and to be coming back to Atlanta to play for a semifinal to get to a national championship. That's tremendous for LSU.
And what does it mean to have a national brand, a team that's been there, done that, Oklahoma coming to your game?
Well, Oklahoma has never played in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, so to be here with Jalen Hurts, who knows that facility and done so well in there, and to be the number 1 offense in the country against the number 2 offense in the country, it's going to be fireworks in Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 28th.
Gary, we appreciate you, and we appreciate the great storylines we will have to talk about leading up to this big matchup.
Thank you.
That was comments from the president and CEO of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Gary Stokan. Very looking forward to the LSU faithful once again visiting the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Met Gary almost 20 years ago. LSU, believe it or not, this was after the bad deal. We know about Curley and then Coach DiNardo. But believe it or not, folks, Ronald Gray was at LSU at the time, and they had to send about a 45-page ordeal to Gary Stokan at the Peach Bowl, wanting to know what they had to do to get the Peach Bowl invitation. This is when LSU was down. Saban was coming up to awaken a sleeping giant. And LSU took over Atlanta. They marched in the parade. They spent money, food, the whole 9 yards. And so there is a love affair. But Gary Stokan is legitimately one of the top guys in college football. And I know he's excited. And look, they do it up right in Atlanta with the Peach Bowl. So it's great that they're one of the first semifinals. Man, if LSU had finished second, we would be sitting here talking about going to play Clemson in Glendale, Arizona. Right. So it works out. One other thing to mention before we get to all the awards. Look at the bonding that this LSU team has done throughout the country. I'm hearing people in New York are in these bars by the 500s and thousands, cheering and going crazy, playing neck and all of that. Look at Athens, Ohio, having a celebration, watching the game. It is truly unbelievable that LSU is the darling of college football, but you still have 2 games left to take care of business, and let's hope this is a team of destiny, because the good karma is still there. And starting tomorrow, once again, a wheelbarrow full of awards coming for the Tiger players.
That's right. You can't go 13-0, win the SEC without getting a bunch of awards. We'll start with the passing coordinator, Joe Brady, taking home the Broyles Award this season for the nation's most outstanding assistant coach. First time, as you mentioned, that an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator didn't take home the trophy. I mean, speak to the effect that he's had on this team.
Well, not only has he had a great effect, but he gave a lot of credit to Steve Ensminger. And I know Coach Ensminger has been criticized because, you know, there were a couple of years they played Alabama and had a goose egg. But he put his ego aside, and they have done an incredible job of meshing And Joe Brady taking a lot of the routes and the wide receivers. I mean, you're seeing Chase catch balls that Michael Thomas was set up with the Saints. Clyde Edwards-Helaire catching the ball out the backfield. And so great to have Thad Moss. Can we get Thad Moss in the end zone on December 28th for me?
We're talking about some AP All-SEC honors. LSU had a bunch of guys up there, including Newcomer of the Year in Derek Stingley, Offensive Player of the Year in Joe Burrow, and Coach of the Year Ed Orgeron. You see it right there. Also, second team guys. Damian Lewis makes it. Justin Jefferson, obviously. Cade York, the kicker, he's up there. Grant Delpit, and of course, Christian Fulton, who's done an outstanding job at cornerback, opposite of Stingley. Really, LSU's defense playing so well these last couple of games. Hopefully they can ride that momentum leading forward.
Yeah, by the way, Lloyd Cushenberry was the first team center on the coaches All-SEC team, 10 or 11 players, and who would have thought this before? K'Lavon Chaisson has had some awards. He's blown up. You know, his draft status is going up. Good to see healthy Grant Delpit back. The man was playing hurt and not even close to his capabilities. He was a shadow of himself. They got him healthy. And we also know, of course, that Michael Divinity can possibly play in the championship game if they make it to the final game, which, of course, will be the night of January 13th in the Superdome in New Orleans.
Let's talk about probably the most prestigious individual award in college football, the Heisman Trophy. Number 9, Joe Burrow, is officially a finalist for that award. Right there you see it going against Justin Fields, the quarterback from Ohio State, transfer from Georgia, the quarterback from Oklahoma, Mr. Jalen Hurts, transfer from Alabama, and Mr. Chase Young, also a transfer to Ohio State.
Well, you look at those guys, and they're all in the Midwest part of the country. You got two teammates that are going to split votes. Joe Burrow is going to win this thing going away, and it might set some records on first place votes. He is going to get a ton of them. And a lot of people now, they usually like to hide and don't say their vote and what they're going to vote until it happens. It's out the bag. Joe Burrow is going to be a runaway winner. And can you imagine what it's like? Your phone breaks and you don't even replace the phone, and you're getting ready to be the Heisman Trophy winner here in 48 to 72 hours, whatever it is. Life is good for Joe Burrow right now, and life is good for you Tiger fans.
We have a whole lot left here on Tigers Roar. We're going to get to our last segment. Talk some New Orleans Saints football, coming off a tough loss against the 49ers. It was a game that really would have decided home field, possibly would have decided home field advantage during the playoffs. Saints still have a shot to get there, but drop a heartbreaker 48-46 in the Superdome. The fans are wild and raucous as always for the Who Dat Nation. We do some highlights right here on Tigers Roar after this quick break.
We've been fighting the war on drugs for a long time. We answer the phone 24/7, 365 days a year. On a busy night, we answer hundreds of calls. This war on drugs needs our intervention.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has helped people struggling with drugs and alcohol.
When the phone rings, we help people when they need it the most. When we get a caller into treatment, it feels right. It feels good. It's a blessing.
If you're struggling, drinking, using, and need to get clean, don't suffer alone in silence. Call Addiction Hope and Helpline.
Our people understand, and many are also in recovery. Call for support and strength. You can call for someone who can't or isn't willing. It's an act of love. Together we can help you beat this thing and erase addiction from your vocabulary once and for all.
Call 800-383-8177, 800-383-8177.
Super E, we have a new client to sign. You need to fly out and meet them right away.
I'm on it. Up, anyway.
Okay, who closed these windows?
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Welcome back to Tigers Roar. We're here at Scoreboards, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Come check it out. Watch some big games coming up here in the next month. It's all here at Scoreboards. We'll talk some NFL football here on Tigers Roar. The New Orleans Saints are now 10-3 after a tough loss to the 49ers this past weekend. Got some highlights I want to show you guys. Right now, we're going to ask people to roll it in the truck. We'll talk over it. And Drew Brees did his thing. I mean, he had 349 yards, 5 touchdowns. It was really a shootout. A lot of people didn't expect a shootout with these two stout defenses.
Well, here's the key of the game. Jared Cook scores 2 touchdown receptions early, but gets a concussion. By the way, Kamara, something's going on with Alvin Kamara. He's just not right. 1 touchdown so far rushing this year. Here's the play that really affected the game. Guy got a penalty, but Jared Cook in the concussion and had to obviously a big 2-point miss right here.
Hated that call. I mean, the whole defense knew it was coming. Taysom Hill in motion. It was too readable, but hey, they bounced back. Josh Hill gets touchdown right there. 3 touchdowns to the tight ends early in the game. Here's a big play that Marcus Williams has to do a better job.
Yeah.
He's a safety. You see Emmanuel Sanders right there, just getting up, walks into the end zone. Huge play, one play scoring drive for the 49ers. Really kept them in the game. They see Kamara doing this thing. I agree with you. He hasn't looked the same since he got injured. Just not making that first man miss like he used to. There you see Drew Brees doing his thing, sending that ball for a touchdown. This is a great play call. And look, I thought the 49ers outcoached the Saints the entire game. They pulled tricks out the bag.
They did.
Saints defense wasn't ready for it. There was a lot of motion, a lot of bootleg. You see a turnover. Craig Robertson had an interception. That was a tip pass. Saints also gave the ball away right here. Calvin Kamara puts it on the ground.
Yeah,
49ers recover.
You can't turn it over like that and give them a short field. This is the same play, and let's give the San Francisco tight end a lot of credit. Here was a controversial call when you actually are on 4th down and in punt formation. There's no interference, and the fans did not understand that. They went crazy in the Superdome when that play evolved.
I get there's no pass interference. Sean Payton wanted the holding call. You think he know the rules? He's on the competition committee. I also didn't agree with that head-to-head or the forcible blow to an opponent's head. With Chauncey Carter-Johnson right there leads to this touchdown. 49ers still in the game. Drew Brees has to come back. Finds Michael Thomas deep on the sidelines. He did his thing. Mike Thomas, you cannot guard that man.
And once again, setting records again with all the number of receptions. They get in the end zone here, and obviously a great hookup there. The problem is they scored too quick, JP.
I agree. Drew Brees, finds Taquan Smith for a touchdown. Go up late.
That was the score. That was too quick.
49ers had about a minute left. They find George Kittle. They tried to say this is a beast mode, quote-unquote, run. I didn't see that. Poor tackling by the Saints. Then Marcus Williams grabs a face mask. And there's a chip shot after that. Everybody in Superdome knew the game was over after that penalty.
DB was really crazy. I looked at it on the replay 3 times. He actually went for the interception instead of tackling him by his ankles. Just crazy. And we all know, whether you're New Orleans or in Baton Rouge, your DBs have got to tackle. And great thing would help at getting healthy. They're doing it better. I hate to say it. The Saints, with all their injuries, now Davenport's out for the year, all the things going on, and you're 2 games back now with 3 to go, because the head-to-head is 1 game, and of course with the tiebreaker. So San Francisco pretty much has this thing locked up. Saints are going to have to travel at the end if they get into the NFC Championship.
But if you'd have told me before the game that Drew Brees throws for 349 yards, the Saints score 46 points on that Niners defense, you got to think the Saints win that game. That's not how it worked out. 49ers scored 48. Defense gave up way too many points. Wide receivers running wide open the entire game. Defense secondary for the Saints needs to step it up and get right quick.
Hey, we talk about getting spicy sausage from Man Defined Meats. Here's Sean Payton, and he gets a little spicy sometimes after these ball games.
Sean Payton was definitely spicy after this last Sunday game. We'll let you guys hear from Sean Payton post-game comments right here on Tigers Roar.
Man, a back-and-forth game, a tough loss, and so many different momentum swings in that game. You probably have to watch the film 2 or 3 times to, kind of go through the ebbs and flows that it had. Credit San Francisco. They made the plays in the end when they needed to. It was a little surprising to me that it ended up being that type of game. I didn't think it would be. I thought it would be much lower scoring, but that's the direction it went, and, you got to score 1 more. So, any questions? I don't want to answer one officiating question today, so I won't. Keep going. Sorry.
Did you know what the job Kyle Shanahan did calling plays? It seems like they had the defense off balance.
There wasn't a lot of balance from with the score. There wasn't a lot of balance in either defenses, and they do a good job when you can run the ball like they can, and obviously it creates, throws and creates misdirection plays. They're challenging. That's why they're one of the better offenses. Flag put us at the 1, that's why.
Was this your best game offensively overall, would you say?
No. Listen, it's a fair question, and yet I would say any game, if you were going to consider it your best game offensively, would have to include a win. So this isn't about just trying to get passing yards or rush. It's about winning games, so no. Yeah, listen, I know what you're going to ask. You're going to slow down, decide to slow it down when you score 7. I don't know how to do that. Yeah, and then what if you don't have as many plays to score 7? So. Yeah, I mean, look, it's 4th and 2, so there's a handful of things you're wanting to do. We kind of played a man underneath safety high defense. They got into a good bunch set, and he was able to uncover it. So I'm sure when we watch this tape, there's going to be a handful of things where, if you played it back over again, you try to find a way to make sure that a guy like him doesn't beat you in the end. Listen, you're talking to me right after a tough loss, so are you telling me how I'm supposed to feel? All right, I don't feel encouraged. All right, I feel frustrated because we had opportunities earlier in the game offensively to take advantage of field position. We had a number of opportunities. We had missed assignments, so no, I'm not encouraged that way. All right, thanks.
The New Orleans Saints have already clinched the NFC South, so they will be in the playoffs, currently sitting at 10-3. Here at Sean Payton, not happy about the loss to the 49ers. Look, they got out-coached, plain and simple. 49ers had a better game plan to execute their plays all game. Really, Saints need to turn it around quickly. Monday night against the Colts in the Superdome this coming week. It's a big game.
I think they'll win their last 3 regular season games and finish 13-3. By the way, Sean Payton makes $9 million a year and has a guaranteed contract, so we know he's an incredibly smart guy. But Kamara is not on all cylinders right now, and Sean Payton had two two-point plays that were not really executed the way that was drawn up. The 49ers were in the wrong defense on one of them.
Yep.
Called timeout and adjusted. That was crazy, but still having a great year. And, of course, my 2 bits to everybody is that we will do a show next week with the recruits, and then we'll be off on Christmas night and New Year's night. So we hope that you and yours, whether you're a Jag fan, whether you're a Tiger fan, or you're a Saints fan, enjoy the spirits, the holidays, the food and libations. And we all know this is a great state that we live in, and sports makes it a much better place, JP.
Got to give a shout out to the Jaguars. Didn't get the job done against Alcorn in Lawrence, Mississippi, but an outstanding year for Coach Odoms and that team. Scouting really came along late. They had a chance to win the SWAC. They won the SWAC West, beat Grambling in the Bayou Classic. But hey, next year, bigger and better things with Coach Odoms. Got to give a tip to half the job he's done for the Jaguars. I want to thank you guys for watching Tigers Roar. It is the holiday season. Remember to tell those that you love that you love them, and spend some time with your kids, your family, and enjoy all that good food, especially that Manda sausage.
And, of course, come on over here and see us at Scoreboards 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We'll have a lot of parties, a lot of fun this weekend, and as always through the Christmas season. Hey, like JP said, make sure you tell your family how much they mean to you, and happy holidays to everybody.
Thanks again for watching Tigers Roar. We want to thank Marty on the floor and Alan and Greg in the truck. Couldn't do it without them. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. You'll find everything you need, everything we do at Pelican, all kinds of great stuff. Check us out. Thanks again for watching. For the Budman Buddy Sanji, I'm Jonathan Poche.